Hey guys, my name's Keela Johnson, and this is my persuasive speech, The Issues of Phone Addiction. And these are my audience members. Okay, introduction. Did you know that the average person's phone usage will take from 9 up to 12 years of their lifespan? It is important for each and every person in today's day and age to have a basic understanding of what phone addiction is, why it is so addictive, and also to have some solutions to these issues so that they can lean off of their phone addiction. I am credible for speaking about this topic because I, much like many of you guys, are probably on our phones too much, and I've taken it upon myself to learn about the topic so that I can find some solutions to phone addiction and to help myself lean off of my dependency on my phone. Today, I will be arguing why phone usage has many long-term negative effects, why it is a root cause for anxiety and depression, and I will also share some solutions to this issue. The main points that I will be covering are the problems and harms of phone addiction. I will explain the causes and barriers of why these issues have not been solved yet, and then I will also provide some solutions for the issue. Okay, point one, problems and harms. So the number one biggest addictive feature within phones is the scrolling feature that you can find on like Instagram Reels or TikTok. And this feature is so addictive because it was designed after slot machines. The software engineers that created this feature, they wanted it to be addictive so that they could profit off of people's attention, and so they designed it based off of how a slot machine works. The action of scrolling is so addictive because of the user's uncertainty of what is going to come next. You know, it could be a video showing someone how to do something like a how-to video, or it could be a new music video, or it could be something totally uninteresting. The uncertainty of what's going to come next spikes dopamine in our brains, and this keeps us hooked into the loop of scrolling. Number two, phone addiction creates anxiety and depression through notifications. So the constant buzzing of a phone and sound of a notification throughout the day, it creates some sort of anxiety and also depression within people, because when you always have a constant reminder that there is something going on in your pocket through social means, that creates some sort of stress within the person's brain subconsciously, and it also acts as a sort of way of comparison amongst people. When you hear someone who has many notifications, you may compare yourself to them because maybe they have a larger social media following than you, and this can create some sort of anxiety and depression within yourself. Number three, the brain drain effect. So what the brain drain effect is basically it's how scrolling and doom scrolling and phone usage affects one person's cognitive function. And so basically what it is the feeling of not being able to focus, or the feeling of being really tired and drained after being on your phone for a while. And why this happens is because when you are scrolling and you're really deep into your scrolling on your phone, the amount of energy that your brain is using to analyze and process all of the videos and all of the sounds and all of the colors that your eyes are seeing and your ears are hearing, the videos that you're watching, all of the energy that your body requires to watch these videos, basically, it just really tires out your body, and it takes a lot of your energy, so that when you finally snap out of your scrolling, it all hits you at once, and so you feel very tired and not able to focus. And this is something that is negatively affecting almost everybody on planet Earth who has a problem with phone addiction right now. Point two, causes and barriers. So the number one reason why these issues have not been addressed, and there hasn't been a good solution for them yet. The number one reason is simply because these big social media companies like Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, they all make a lot of revenue off of our attention and us as users on their platforms. Um, when we are scrolling on their feed, all of the ad revenue that they generate because we are watching it, they get to profit off of that a lot. Because with all of these social media platforms, it's not that they're selling a product, but it's essentially that they're selling our attention to people who are willing to pay these companies to put their media on their platforms. Number two, another reason why it is not common to find solutions for these problems yet is because when one person relies on their own willpower to um, lean off of their phones and try to help their addictive habits with their phones, essentially what that looks like in reality is just one person relying on their own willpower against thousands of software engineers who have put in thousands of hours of research to find these addictive features and to try to get you hooked into your phone. So the reality of this is the battlefield is just outnumbered, right? Because when you are trying to rely on your own willpower to lean off of your phone, you are fighting all of the constant research that many professionals in the field are putting in to get you hooked on your phone. So that's why it is so hard to quit a phone addiction and to find help, simply because the battle is just outnumbered. And number three, one reason why the government hasn't yet fully intervened with these addictive features on phones is because government mandates regarding addictive features usually come later on after a big technological innovation. So I know it seems like phones may have been around for a long time, and they have, but in the grand scheme of things, phones and social media and phone addiction and all of these problems are still relatively new for humans. And so that's why our government hasn't put in any regulation or mandates to help people who may be struggling with phone addiction. Another example of this is car safety. So the first car was invented in 1886, and then 73 years later was the first seatbelt, the first modern three-point seatbelt. And then it also, after that invention, it took the government 9 more years to start to mandate the production of these three-point seatbelts in cars and make it necessary for vehicle safety. So that's a total of just over 80 years from the first car to when it started being necessary to have these seatbelts in the cars. So I feel like with social media, it's going to be very similar. We're going to start to see some regulations regarding social media scrolling and all of these addictive features later down the line in government mandates and regulations. Okay, so point three, solutions. So I think the number one solution to this problem specifically will just be to spread the information, because there are so many people in today's world that do not understand what phone addiction is, what these side effects look like, and just how serious the problem is. Because in today's world, every single person has a phone. It could be someone who's super young, someone who's super old, and everyone in between. Everyone has a phone, and so with that being said, everyone is going to struggle with these sort of addictive tendencies and habits, just because it is so easy to get your hands on and it is so universal. So I think the most important thing that us as a community can do is just going to be to spread the information about this topic so that people can have a general understanding of what phone addiction is and why it's bad, and then also how they can help themselves. Number two is going to be to set some daily or weekly or even yearly goals for yourself regarding phone usage. And what an example of this could look like is maybe for someone who enjoys to watch TV or scroll on Instagram while they're eating a meal, if they're always doing this and they want to start to help themselves lean off of these addictive tendencies, what they can do will be to set a goal to start to eat meals without any screens at all involved. Instead of watching TV while you eat, you could sit at the dinner table with your family, or you could go outside and just hang out by yourself while you eat your meal. And then number 3, my third solution will be a call to action for you guys. This is something that you can do right now. So something that I know and can guarantee will help you guys with phone usage and phone addiction. If you guys feel like you may need to lean off of your phones, there's 2 things that you can do right now. Number 1 is going to be turning grayscale mode on your phone. So what this basically will do is it will turn your phone into shades of just gray and black and white instead of all colorful. And what this will do basically is it's gonna totally eliminate all of the dopamine spiking colors that you may see when you're scrolling your feed on Instagram or TikTok. And essentially it will just make your phone and the videos you're watching undesirable. And so without the dopamine spike that you get when you're watching YouTube videos or whatever it is, it's going to be a lot easier to put the phone down and maybe go outside and do something more productive. And then another thing that you guys can do right now is going to be to remove some apps from your home screen. And this could be some social media pages if you feel like, just out of pure muscle memory, sometimes you find yourself on Instagram or TikTok, even though you didn't even mean to click the app and you just happen to be there. It could be muscle memory. So when you remove these apps from your home screen, it will totally eliminate the muscle memory of you going into these apps and getting stuck in a doom scroll. Okay, so today I have argued why phone usage has many long-term negative mental health effects. I've argued why it is a root cause of anxiety and depression, and I have also mentioned some solutions to these topics. The main points that I've covered were the problems and harms of phone addiction. I have mentioned the causes and barriers of why these issues have not been solved yet. And then I also provided some solutions for you guys to think about if you want to consider leaning off of your phone more. And then I want to leave you guys with a reason to remember, and I will do that by explaining something that happened in 2010 regarding Steve Jobs. So in 2010, a reporter asked Steve Jobs if his children liked the newly released iPad, and Steve Jobs famously said, "They haven't used it. We limit how much our kids use at home." And just think about this, because the man who had created all of this new technology that is so famous, he is not letting it interrupt his family and affect his family in a negative way. And so with that being said, I don't think we should be letting these phones and these addictive tendencies be corrupting our lives either. I think that it's time for us to start using our phones instead of letting our phones use us. Thank you.